What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quiz. Hey guys, what's up? It's day 2 of week 19. I'm your host JJT with our commish Eric. How's your day? Good.
Okay.
So far, so good. This is the last
Today.
week. This is the last week
Yeah.
for our fantasy FBW leagues. Next week would be the playoffs already for our fantasy benchwarmers leagues, and today is also the last.
Except the invitational. Except the
invitationals. I think it's a week delayed. For week 21 is the playoffs. So, and I think tomorrow would be the trade deadline of all the leagues. So there are some deals on the table. We've finished some, approved some. There are a couple more waiting, but yeah, we'll deal with that tomorrow. But first, let's go to some news. Good news or bad news? First, what do you want?
Bad news. Again, these are my players in another league. in our league, I think it's game over for me. In the Lillard League, let's start with Jaylen.
Jaylen Brown. Played what? 2 minutes, 3 minutes, I think.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Sprained ankle.
Did not return. He walked off the court though on his own power, so at least there's some hope that it's not as serious and maybe it's just a precaution. They also won the game today, I think. So, did they? I think they won the game, right?
They won. They came back and won the game. And the good news is after the game, they said it's not bad. He wanted to come back, but they decided not to let him come back. But they're swelling, so they think he's gonna be out for probably a couple more games. So that's the best case.
Yeah, probably out for this week.
Out for this week, yeah. Probably out for this week.
Another player who was injured and did not play is Anthony Edwards. He was kind of a late scratch, I guess.
Anthony Edwards. He
sore knee.
There's been something wrong with the knee for a while. That's why he didn't play in the All-Star game. And even after the All-Star game, as we said, we talked about it. He was really struggling, and that's why we were telling people that he's a buy low. This is Chris Finch did say that they will consider resting him if this doesn't improve, which is not a good timing situation if you're in your playoffs or you have playoffs next week.
Well,
it's
but
not good.
To be clear though, I don't think they're gonna rest him for the rest of the season. So at least
no.
All right, they are in playoff contention, so they'll probably rest him for hopefully a few weeks or a week or two. But hopefully the soreness subsides, but we'll see. He's a young player. So.
Yeah, he's a young player. I don't believe he's going to be out for long. Even if they say they will rest him maybe 1 week, as you said. I don't even think it's going to be weeks. Maybe 2 to 3 games more. That's the thing. And then he'll come back.
Yeah.
He'll come back.
The more worrying, though, but kind of conflicting situation is Darius Garland, who is considered like a day-to-day thing, but without a specific timetable. But he was upgraded to questionable for tomorrow's game. So we don't know how. I think it's really more of whether he can tolerate the pain, he can play through it. I think that's more.
I think they're messing with us. They're. I mean, whoever gives out the official tags, it doesn't really matter if he's doubtful, questionable, probable. At this point, when 1 hour, 2 hours before the game, if he feels good, he's gonna play. That's the kind of injury he has. It's not a fracture, a broken anything, or a ligament there. So that is what's gonna be frustrating for his owners. And I believe even if he plays tomorrow, it doesn't mean he's gonna be playing the day after that. So or the game after that. So that's the worry there.
And it's
that's gonna be a problem.
And another thing that might be worrying is that even if he plays the game, if he doesn't feel good or doesn't feel right, he might end up not playing the whole game.
Possibly. Possibly,
right?
yes.
So,
That's possible.
so this is going to be annoying, but hopefully, yeah, he gets it right. I mean, he'll feel better and save you guys from your playoff matchups. Assuming you have Garland in your teams. All right, so those are the bad news. One good news: OG Anunoby looks like he's getting better. He's closing. Looks like he is kind of closing in on a potential return. At least it's not season ending for him with the specialist.
I
So
think they're conflicted. He can play through it, but
yeah,
the doctor said if you let him rest for 2 weeks, he's gonna be fully healed in 2 weeks. But he
yeah,
can play now. But of course, if you play him now that he's not yet fully healed, it might prolong the healing process. So
yeah.
that makes it a hard decision for the team and the coach and everybody involved whether they'll play him or let him complete the 2 weeks of rest. So, well, best case is your playoff starts week 21. You'll have him there.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with OG. Let's talk about some buy players quickly. Payne is probably a popular ad when Chris Paul went down. Yeah, he is expected to return tomorrow in their game. So,
and maybe he was dropped after he was added because he's been out for a couple of games even after the deadline and after the All-Star break. So maybe people got impatient. If they were, it's a priority ad for me. Priority ad.
Yeah. Who are still the hot ads here? Grant Williams is actually a very underrated free agent in the waiver wire. He's been playing well for a week now, or maybe two. And with Jalen potentially missing some games, he could be a valuable player.
Yes, I'm just thinking they'll probably have Tatum as a full-time small forward. In that case, they will just have Horford and Robert Williams at the front court position, and Grant Williams will have to be their main backup of both players.
Yeah,
he's been playing well already with Jalen. Now he gets more. I put Dorian Finney-Smith today in the list because we're in the playoffs. Just to remind you, Dorian Finney-Smith is only 30-something% on 40% owned. He has to be owned more when it's a playoff time because of the steals, as we said, the 3-pointers, and Grant Williams is the same. Grant Williams has kind of the same potential, same upside as Dorian Finney-Smith.
And unlike Dorian Finney-Smith, though, Grant Williams' percentages are really good.
Yes,
I think he's averaging 90% free throw and above 45 on the field goal. So at least he wouldn't hurt you there. I think he's averaging double figures in the past 1 or 2 weeks. So he's been solid. I think the last game before this one was the lone bad game he's had in quite a while.
Yes.
So should be very under the radar because he's always there and he's not a famous ad really for many. And no one really expects him to continue it. And of course, Dorian Finney-Smith, probably not available. I don't see much Dorian Finney-Smith in at least our leagues. But yeah, 40%.
But in Yahoo is 40% owned. So he has to, I think, go higher at this point. He's been playing well since Kristaps went down.
Okay, Gafford. Let's talk about Gafford for a while because I'm annoyed. Gafford played well to start the game, but he ended up with just 20 minutes. And then Thomas Bryant played 21 minutes, 22 minutes. And he played well too. I mean, played well too.
I'll answer that with the Washington, just in general Washington. I would only really trust Kyle Kuzma there. But Gafford also is my second best player there only because of the blocks and rebounds. He played 20 minutes. He had, I think, 4 blocks.
3 blocks.
Something like that. 3 blocks. Maybe 12 points, 6 rebounds, 5
he had
rebounds.
12 points.
Something like that. And I think those are, it's irritating because you will say if he played 35 or 32 minutes, he could have gotten a double-double and then maybe more blocks. But just count your blessings, as I've been telling you. I mean, but
all right, fine.
Yeah, he's a must-add.
Now, as I think about it, if you're owning Isaiah Jackson, he's probably gonna give you the same numbers.
Yes,
but probably
less
a little
hype.
more consistent. Less hype and a little more consistent, as long as he gets that 20 to 25 minutes playing time.
And at least you're not owning Dwight Howard. I mean,
I'm just happy because one of a friend of mine asked me if he should add Dwight Howard and drop Isaiah Stewart and those guys. I said
no. That's and when you asked me, do I believe that this will last? And I told you, I believe all of a sudden he's suddenly gonna play 5, 6, 7 minutes, which today he played 4 minutes. Yeah, and it's a matchup thing.
And we talked about that in DFS, right? That they might play small and Dwight might not be there to play a lot of minutes. So yeah, Daniel Gafford, an ad in case he has it. Thomas Bryant, is he an ad?
In deeper leagues, I think he can be added. As long as Kristaps is out.
16 team above, I guess.
Yes. I think he can be added.
All right. Can be added. Carmelo Anthony should be an ad. Let's talk about Beasley and Jaden. Let's talk about some of the players who are probably still there. Because some of these guys are probably not available. But Malik Beasley and Jaden McDaniels. Vanderbilt is not playing well. McDaniels has been playing better. So yeah, there are buy players, and without Anthony Edwards, should help a lot.
And add Beasley right away, because Beasley plays well when somebody gets injured at the first few games, and then after that he'll have bad games already. So you could use him maybe for the next couple of games if Edwards misses time.
Yeah, and lastly, Danilo Gallinari. Lots of Danilo Gallinari still there. Okongwu got hurt, I think.
Concussion.
Today. Yeah. Concussion. So that could, depending on the severity of that concussion, that could take time. We've seen Donovan Mitchell miss weeks because of concussions. Although Okongwu is really not a must roster player, he's probably going to be dropped at some point. But very valuable too in the playoffs because of the block rate that he has.
If you're in a shallow league, if Derek White was dropped, because there were some people who messaged that Derek White was dropped in their leagues, and you have to add him right away. Because, of course...
Did he do 3 blocks today?
Yes. And, of course, Jalen is out. He had a bad stretch, but we said keep patient, be patient. Now Jalen is out. He's probably going to be the starter. So there, he should be added. If you're a 10-team league, don't ask us. 10 or 12 or whatever, is add everywhere right now.
And then some stream options just in case you need some for your playoffs. Gabe Vincent without Lowry can be streamed. Malachi Flynn, if Fred VanVleet continues to miss time, could be added, could be streamed. Nick Claxton is back on the radar because Andre Drummond is hurt. So yeah, and then LaMarcus started today. So
it's hard for us to recommend you adding them right away, these guys, because we really don't know what Drummond's situation is. He's always just going to be questionable. It's hard. These are streamers. If you're gonna ask us who we think you can add right away right now, it's probably gonna be Vincent, only because I'm pretty sure Lowry has chances to miss more than tomorrow's game, longer than tomorrow's game. Yeah.
And he's been ruled out at least a day before, right? The games. Unlike VanVleet, who's usually on the game time decision, I think Drummond's the same. James Johnson is another beneficiary there in Brooklyn, another stream. I think it's easier to add these guys when you're in the playoffs and you've got 5 moves per week, I guess. These are easier ads. But among these, Gabe Vincent maybe is the best ad, like you said. And I think then James Johnson.
I would hold off on James Johnson because of Durant. I really don't know the status of Durant. It's hard. It's really
he's close. He's close.
Yeah, he's close. I can't tell you to add James Johnson right away. If your league is in the daily to day setup, then maybe you could wait for more clarity. Yeah.
So those are the buy players for today. Let's talk about some worry players. Kennard, well, I've dropped Kennard. Did not play well again.
Yeah, drop him. Drop Kennard.
Jared Vanderbilt. We've talked about him. Is he a drop? I've seen lots of Vanderbilts drop already, actually.
Yes. In 12 and 14 team leagues, I think he can be dropped. Especially if your playoffs is around the corner. He's still hurt. His shoulder is still hurt. And I thought that the All-Star break gave him time to heal, but it doesn't seem like it. So what does he give you? Rebounds, 7 or 8? I don't think that's enough if he doesn't give you anything else. Drop Vanderbilt.
Who else? The other worry players are pretty much droppable. Neto, as we talked about, he played decent today. But Schmidt played more minutes, and of course, they had 5 minutes more for Thomas Satoransky, and that complicates things a bit.
The good news is Denny Avdiha got hurt also. So
I'm not sure that's a good news for Avdiha owners, but yeah.
Well, I mean, we're talking about Neto.
Good news for Neto owners, yeah. Good.
Yeah, we're talking about Neto, so that's good news for Neto owners. At least Satoransky would probably move over to that side, the forward side, and then leave Neto and Schmidt dealing with the point guard problems. So he probably extends his lifespan a little bit. So, but today he got 24 minutes. That's not going to be enough, I think, for Neto. Yeah.
He played decent, but he's like more of a streamer type of guy. And if you've got players like Grant Williams there, or maybe Gallinari, he might not be your priority at this point because those guys would have more opportunities with Gallinari. Collins is out. Okomu could be out. More chance there. So those are our worry players. Who else are worry players? DeAndre Hunter is also struggling. Well, he hasn't been really good this year, but yeah.
Drop him.
He's been dropped in a lot of leagues, actually.
Yeah.
How about Jordan Poole? Drop Jordan Poole?
In a shallower league, yes, I would do that. In 10-team leagues, I would do. In 12-team standard leagues, yes, also. He's not gonna be helping you. It's, as I said, it's crunch time, playoff time. What category will he help you? I don't see it. So I'm okay with dropping him also.
Yeah.
In shallower leagues.
All right. Lastly, feel good. It's a short, quickie. Feel good player. Kyle Kuzma, the star player in Washington.
Kyle Kuzma is top 50 so far, and I think for the rest of the season. And watch out for the schedule of Washington. They have a good schedule, so that benefits him even more. And I said I compared Kuzma and Luka, not because they're the same, but their situation is almost the same. It's like Luka and a bunch of players that are almost similar talent, and their role is just to complement Luka, and that seems to be what is happening in Washington also. It's Kyle Kuzma, and the rest of the guys there are basically just there to help Kuzma with scoring and everything else. So it's really a perfect setup for him.
Yeah. Here's a trade question. I mean, we're approaching the trade deadline for most of the fantasy leagues. Embiid and Kuzma for Sabonis and Butler. Jimmy Butler.
Okay, that's interesting. I like Embiid. So I'll probably go with Embiid and Kuzma.
But
probably go with Embiid.
Too far, right?
Not too far, but Embiid is a big edge there. He's a key there. And if you believe that Harden affects him to the point that he'll be like top 12 instead of top 3, top 4, top 5, then that's a big difference. But for me, Embiid will be top 5 rest of the season. So I like that side more.
Yeah, and he's the best player there, I guess.
Best player.
Plus Kuzma is not, like I said, Kuzma is not the Kuzma we know.
Yes.
before. This is a different Kuzma. He can do a lot right now, fantasy wise, right? Contributes a lot as well, fantasy wise.
And check the playoff schedules. I don't know what if is that the FBW league.
No, it's a different league. It was just asked in one of the FBW leagues.
Okay, because I know Philadelphia and Washington there's a setup where they have 12 games, both. So check it. I mean, if that would make it even better for that side.
If maybe that's the reason why they're making the trades. I mean, at least that one side is making that trade. But it's a fair trade. Anyway, the playoff schedules and the analysis of the playoff schedules are in the Facebook page. They're pinned there. I'm not moving the pins because I know that those are very important schedules. All the playoff schedules starting on week 19 onwards are there. So you can check it out to see which teams have the best record, best schedules, and which players could have more games, most of the games, and that can also help your streaming as you stream some players, save some moves, add some players with more games, and you will be able to save lots of moves there. All right, that's a short quickie for you guys. We'll be back tomorrow for another daily fantasy quickie. Yeah, bye guys.